Hey, what's up? It's Jared with Ditch Auto, and today we're going to talk about the Mavic 2 Pro a year later. It's been a year since the Mavic 2 Pro came out, and it's been kind of a game changer for me as far as drones go. For those of you who have followed along with me on this channel or on my Instagram, you know that I have a couple of different drones, and over the last several years, I've had several different drones, ranging from the Inspire line all the way down to the Mavic Air, or no, the Mavic Spark, actually. And so with the experience of using all these different drones, I find myself going back to the Mavic all the time because it's super compact and it just gets the job done. It gets beautiful images, beautiful video, and it's just a ton of fun to fly. So I wanted to talk about it, being that it's now a year later, being that I was trying to question whether or not I should get the Zoom model or just the standard Pro with the Hasselblad style camera on it. I'm very glad that I went with the 2 Pro with the Hasselblad style camera over the Zoom version because I wanted the better quality camera, the better quality glass or lens on it over having the Zoom functionality. Even though I thought the Zoom would be kind of fun, I felt like maybe it would be more of like kind of a gimmicky thing for me than something that I'd actually use. So let's talk a little bit about this drone and why I have been preferring it over all the other drones that I have. So I have it in the Fly More kit here that I got with the drone. When I bought this drone, I bought it with the Fly More kit because I know that the battery life was going to be decent, but I wanted to have extra batteries. I wanted to have a car charger, and I wanted to have a nice little case that it fit in really well. So this case really worked out well, and I'm glad that I picked it up. So it does get in battery life, while I'm pulling the drone out, it does get in battery life for me an average of 32 to 34 minutes, depending on how I'm flying it and also the wind conditions in which I'm flying it. It is a really good drone at battery management, and it does a great job at giving you as much battery as it can before it starts hollering at you to come back home. But this is it here, the Mavic 2 Pro with the Hasselblad camera on it, which is a 28mm equivalent with an f2.8 aperture. I just absolutely love this little drone. It is super sturdy up in the air, even on windier days. It's a little bit windy today, even though I'm kind of down in like a tree area. I've been traveling with my family for the last 2 months. We've been in our travel trailer, traveling all over the western side of the United States, starting out in California, going into Nevada, Idaho, Montana. We're in Washington right now. We'll be going into Oregon and then back into California soon. And the drone has been a tool that I have used to give context to the environment that I'm in. When I'm trying to post something or a video or whatnot, the drone kind of gives me that ability to just give context to the environment where, yes, I could shoot some photos or some video with my camera, but the drone lets people kind of get more of a visual on what and where we are at, which has been super useful. There's been instances where we've taken our RV up some very steep roads in between trees that are dirt roads. I'm in 4-wheel drive with the truck, and I'm thinking like, oh man, it's just, I'll get out and take a picture with my phone and it just doesn't do it justice. But if I take the drone up in the air and take a photo or shoot some video, that's when it really starts to kind of feel like, yeah, that's exactly where we're at. Like, we're out in the middle of nowhere. Maybe we shouldn't have tried to go up this mountain with our trailer, but we did. And the drone has given me the ability to get those kind of shots. We've also been on some amazing lookouts into some lakes or into some mountains or over the view of a valley atop a mountain. And the drone just gives us that ability to get a neat shot and show perspective. One of my favorite shots to get with the drone is just that pull away shot where, when I'm sitting there looking and it's like, man, this is beautiful, the environment and everything, I could explain it to people and, you got to see it for yourself. I could take a picture and they're like, yeah, that's beautiful, but I can't imagine myself being there. But when you do that pull away reveal drone shot, it's like, oh man, that really feels a lot like you're there. And it just gives so much more of a visual to the person watching. And this drone has been just an absolute powerhouse of a tool for getting those types of shots. So in getting photos and video out of this drone, it just does an amazing job considering how tiny it is. And I ended up over the years with Inspire 2, and well, I had an Inspire 1 and then an Inspire 2 because I wanted that more, you know, DSLR style image. I wanted to be able to put lenses on there and get shallow depth of field, and just, I didn't want it to look like a smartphone flying through the air, which a lot of these smaller drones give you that kind of footage that looks more like a smartphone than it does something like a DSLR style camera or mirrorless camera. But with this drone, it does do a pretty decent job. And if you get some ND filters for the front of it, which I did, I'm usually always flying with some form of an ND filter on here so that I can get more of the look out of the camera that I want. It does a really good job. It still doesn't look like maybe like a DSLR or a mirrorless camera image, but it looks a lot better than you would expect out of like a smartphone or a GoPro or something like that, some sort of action camera. So I do love how compact this drone is. You know, it folds out really easily. I'm sure all of you have seen this before. It folds out super easily and doesn't take up a whole lot of space, even when it's ready to go and ready to fly. This thing is very stable in the air, not only as a drone itself, but also just with the camera and the gimbal that's on it. It does a great job at keeping steady, keeping still, and getting you really nice looking shots, even on a windier day. Previous versions of the Mavic, I would notice issues where I would get a gimbal error message on the screen when flying because it just wasn't strong enough. They did a really good job of kind of beefing up the system, giving you the ability to still get really good shots even in situations that might be a little brighter. Now, I've also been using this for jobs. While in Montana, ended up working with a realtor and taking some photos and shooting some video for them of a property, and using the drone to get some of those really cool aerials, reveals of the beautiful mountains behind this property. I'm showing you some of the photos and the video from that now, and this drone just made it really easy for me to have a drone that is small and compact, so it's easy for me to take, doesn't take up much room. Even if I don't know whether or not I'm going to use it, I'll take it anyways because it's so compact. But my bigger drones, my Phantom, my Inspire, I would never bring them because they take up so much room, and I would think, I'm probably not going to use it, and then I wish that I had them. So very easy to swap the batteries in and out of this drone. They charge up really easy, especially using the adapters and stuff that came with the Fly More kit. This records straight to a micro SD card, which I keep an extra one, but I have a 128 gig micro SD card in it, and I'll link to that below. It does a great job of making sure that I have plenty of room for photos and video to be captured. This guy has tons of sensors all over it to keep you protected from hitting something. It also just comes to a screeching halt and stops on a dime when you let go of the rudders. It's been very well programmed and set up to prevent accidents, to prevent crashing. Then of course, when you want to go fast and have fun, you take it out of, the standard modes and you put it in sport mode, and it is just a blast to fly. Of course, you lose the sensors and stuff like that, but it becomes a ton of fun to fly and gives you more of a feel of a racing style drone, or more of like an RC experience that you might have being more of a hobbyist than being like a camera operator. So what I do love about this drone is just how good it is at capturing photos and video, as I've mentioned already. When you're flying a drone, you need to worry about the drone, but if you're trying to get the shots, you're also worried about your shots, and all of the features that this drone packs, including some of the cool things like active track, definitely help get you those shots more easily without having to worry about the issues that come with trying to fly and get your shot at the same time. So I haven't had any issues with this drone over the year that I've had it, over the tons of time in the air that I've put on it, over the many different states that this drone has been with me over the years. It's been all over the United States over this last year in different states, and I've flown it many different times for many different purposes and at many different altitudes, and it just continues to keep going. It's an absolute joy, and I think it's well worth the money that they're asking for it. So a year later, I think it's still worth it. I'm not regretting the fact that I went with this model over the Zoom version. And I'm definitely, this is my go-to drone, guys. Even though I have some other drones, I have the Phantom, I have the Inspire 2, even though the Inspire 2 I'm not really using hardly at all anymore. This drone is just my go-to, and it's an absolute blast to own. So I've linked everything down in the description below for you. If you have any questions, ask in the comment section. I'll do my best to answer them. And make sure to follow us on Instagram as well, because I've got some photos and some different stuff with the drone there. If you like this video and you want to see more drone stuff, because I don't typically talk too much about drones on this channel, let me know down in the comment section. And make sure to subscribe to the channel here on Ditch Auto, and click that bell if you want to be notified when we put out new videos. But that's going to do it. Thanks so much for checking out this video, and I hope to see you back in the next one. Take care.